Hey Jeff, aka Jpaydirt. Josh with the Update channel here, and it sounded like you wanted some advice on your cat engine. Well, I've worked on a couple cats over the years, and let's go into what you were looking at fixing on that. Maybe I can give you some pointers.
Yeah, so we gotta go front end first, or how the hell do we do work? Yep. Gotta go forward? Yeah. Gotta go your way.
That's being placed. What? Oh yeah, I don't think that's coming out ever, is it? That's a jet wire stuck down here now. Your wife wants to go to fancy times. Okay, now this is the next question. This wire. It is so damn crazy long instead of the valve train. Oh, how the hell? What's it go? You took them down all in one deal? That's what it says. Okay. And that's 3 and then 4 there.
Okay, this is the sensor. He said this is the one that they have the most trouble with. It always goes bad, and this one's a new one, fairly new. I had the engine light coming on for a long time, and then finally I was going down the highway empty, and I couldn't hardly make 60 miles an hour, and I was only getting about 20 pounds of boost. So I took it to the dealer, and this is what they said was wrong. So they put a new one in, and it works. Now these exhaust stud holes, they're not very deep. Okay, Jake's got all the VVAs on, the C brake. So he's just getting the covers cleaned up to get them put on. And then once he gets that covered up, then I can finish cleaning this up and paint it. I've run the top through the holes and the thermostat hole, and I need to get the roll lock disc and then see if I can finish cleaning this black off and get it painted up.
Yeah, that feels great right there, but see, as soon as you pull your dill out, it's like if you want to ever recheck them.
Well, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. It's a bastard to get it in.
Okay, that was fucking set. We gotta tighten up and everything.
That's good. So how far out are they? Or have you found that they've been out?
Ow! I don't know, 'cause it's so hard to get the feeler gauge in there sometimes. I know we've got one compression brake that got way too much lash in it. Now we can do the C brake and the variant. Jake's mad. The only one that matters is both intake and, well, your engine valves have to be adjusted before you try fucking with the compression brake.
What are you using this to do these? Sure, it's sloppy.
Yeah, I think that rubber's too tight.
Just hold it there while I tighten it, and then we'll get all that'll squeeze the oil out of everything, and then I'll back her off and then tighten it up. Problem with this, damn.
Next time Esslinger always said, we ain't building a watch. We're just building something with more parts than a watch, but we ain't building one.
Never understood that. We're not building a watch. Please let me undo them. What the heck? Here, loosen that up good and stick your gauge in, and then we'll do her. You can't do the Jake and the other?
I will. I'll just come back to them. I just want to stick with one feeler gauge.
Yeah, how the frank do you do this? That's That wrench isn't gonna work unless you ground on it. But if I just go grind that wrench or something on that, I don't know, it just doesn't fit in the hole. Yeah, it ain't gonna. Ain't that the problem? The backside's right there is not going to.
Well, it leaves an oil mark right where you need to grind it.
Well, then I'm gonna grind it. I just need to grind a little off that corner, and then I can. Yeah, that's a good fit now.
Okay, now we gotta turn the motor 360 and do it all over again.
Okay, so you're using the timing bolt?
Yeah.
I ain't a pussy. Hold on just a sec. Okay, black mark coming.
Okay, go slow.
You ready?
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh wow, stopped right close anyway. Okay, scratch all that shit I talked about not adjusting these and they'd be okay. They're not. Okay, I'm gonna start putting the studs in and use anti-seize on the thread. Ty Frank, you're gonna like that. He said use anti-seize, and I agree with him 100%. I'm gonna use this. This is an anti-seize I got from I can't even remember their name. Good grief. You'd think somebody that makes a product would put their name in big bold letters on it. It's called Lock Cease 2020. High pressure, high temperature lubricant and anti-seize. Okay, what they tell you to do is just to screw these in by hand. Don't use a stud installer, pipe wrench, vice grips, double nut, none of that stuff. Just screw them in hand tight. And then these are the gaskets that go on there. Look at the size of the exhaust ports on a C15. They're huge. And so these gaskets come with the kit. Okay, this is the stainless insert. And as you can see, the gasket is riveted to the insert. And then also, look at the small size of it. Look how far it necks it down. If I was to put this on here, you know, look at how much it reduces the size of that hole. Okay, in the words of a famous philosopher, Leonard Skinner, I know a little about turbos, and baby, I can guess the rest. Okay, I want to show you another really good place for anti-seize. This is the water line that goes up there and goes on the cylinder head. And when I tried to undo it, it was so froze up on here that it was trying to unscrew this fitting out of the head. So I'm going to clean this all up, put a new O-ring on it, get her installed. Okay, this is my parts book. And my engine's an MXS 15001 serial number, but I need to find an O-ring. I need to find the O-ring for this fitting. I've got it cleaned up. And so in a cat parts book, you'd think that you'd find that under water lines. But what you got to do is you got to go to lines. And then it'll take you to a group. So we'll go to L. H-I-J-K-L. Okay. L, lines group. Air, compressor, exhaust. Okay, here we go. Lines group water, 545. So we'll go to 545. Okay, let me back up just a wee bit. There we go. Bingo, found it. Okay, there it is. Number 1 is a connector assembly, and that takes a 3K 0360 seal O-ring. So what I do is I buy these Caterpillar O-ring kits, and these are really super handy. And this one is for XT3 O-ring face seal and SAE O-ring boss connections. Okay, I have another one out in the truck. I have 2 more out in the truck. I have one with with what they call a D-ring, and those go in my hydraulic hoses, in the a lot of the older XT3 hoses, and they also go in the ones that were set up. They called them a metal back seal. So anyway, there we are, 3K0360. So that's going to be under this foam one, and that's going to be this one right here. So that's going to go on here. You can see I got my surgeon gloves on, my cat surgeon gloves. Actually, this just keeps the crap off your hands, and I didn't want to get that nice pretty manifold all crapped up. So anyway, here it is. Now I just got to go screw it in the head and put the line on. Let me show you where that goes. It goes in the head right here. Probably would be better if I was using a deep socket instead of a wrench, but I like doing things the hard way, dagummit. What fun is it if it's easy, huh? Plus it makes me look cool. You guys think, damn, he's a good mechanic. They can put that stuff together with a doggone end wrench. And others are saying, you dumbass, get a socket. I can just hear it. Now what fun would it be in doing it the easy way, huh? Okay, somebody told me I needed to replace these because it was a bear to do it later. And I totally agree with them. I can see where this would be a real pain-a-roo to do it later. Make sure the paper towel's out over here. There we go. Okay, I need to put some anti-seize on the threads before I do this. Fuel line and the water line would be a real bear to change. Now the fuel line, there's a couple ways to do this. Either change the fuel line when the variable valve actuator housing is off, and I don't know if you can see right back in here, there's the fuel line where it goes in the head, and then this is a water line. And even to try to undo this one, I got a wrench in up here with the thermostat housing on, and I got it to move, but because it was seized to this adapter fitting with the O-ring, it tried to turn that out of the head. Now, if these broke, probably the easier way to get in here and change these is just take the fan drive off. And once you take the fan drive off, this lifting hook comes off, and you're basically going to take all this aluminum housing off for your AC compressor. Your alternator goes here. So you're basically going to take all this off so that you can get wrenches in here and get this off. That way you're not taking this whole assembly off. And that would probably be a lot easier than opening up the inside of the engine. So, okay, one of the mistakes I made here was I put the manifold on upside down. Here's a picture of it. Okay, now this is it was my fault, my stupidity. I should have known better. But I was in a hurry to get it on there. I'm not familiar with these newer engines. So, you know, everything I own, it sits up here. Well, these don't. These sit down facing this way. So, like an idiot, I put it on upside down. Cat makes a lot of different manifolds. Anyway, this is called a mid-mount. They make a mid-mount and a 12.5 degree, I think they call it. And so to get parts for this, to do the oil lines and stuff, and I'll show you that, you've got to get, you got to look in a 3406E parts book. Anyway, since these are stainless studs and stainless nuts, make sure you use a lot of anti-seize on them. I did, and all mine screwed on like this, except for that one right here. And it wanted to gall the threads on the end for some reason. I don't know why. They look like they're kind of messed up, but I run the nut on there and off again, and it's back to where it needs to be. But I think there was something wrong with the nut. When I go to put the nut back on, if it still doesn't want to go on, I'm going to get a different nut and try that. Okay, I got to drill a hole in this manifold for a thermocouple. So I'm going to drill it on this pad. You got two, you got one here and one here. Guess if you wanted to run dual exhaust gas temperature ones. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this for center. Looks pretty good. See how she drills. Okay, I got it tapped. Went to town, bought me a brand new tap. Sure works better than wore out ones. And with pipe tap, you want to make sure and run it in far enough. Take a plug and make sure it goes in down to where it's going to seal. Get plenty of threads in it. So this is the short stud that goes in where the manifold comes together and the turbo mounts. And so these are ARP studs, and they're too long. I mean, they have a ton of thread exposure on the end of them, even the long ones. But this one, I'm going to show you why I got to cut it off. Anyway, you're probably going to want to cut, if you count from here, count that thread, 1, 2, probably about 3 threads off of it. Okay, now we're going to have to go grind the end of that and round it off so the nut will start. Okay, you'd never even know I cut it off. It goes right here, and because it sticks out so far, if you put this manifold up on there and you center the studs in these holes both forward, back, up and down, and then you go to try to put the nut on here, you're not going to get it on because the stud sticks out this way too far and you can't get the nut on. So then you end up loosening it. And so if you don't cut the stud off, make sure you put this nut on first. Well, I'm not sure my turbo's even going to fit till I get rid of this drain back line. And then I don't think this one's going to work. This is the old one. Yeah, no way that's going to work. Okay, this is the second oil line for the other turbo, and we're not going to use that. That one comes off the main galley for the oil. You see, there's a plug there, and one there, and one there. Well, there's a plug on every main bearing of the crankshaft, and that's a passageway inside the block. So all your oil comes out of the engine, and let me think here, it's going to come out of this port right here, come up in here. It's going to go to your turbo first. It's going to go around here, down underneath, through the filter, back out, and then through this pipe back into the engine, into the main galley. So we got to get rid of this hose, and I've already smashed my finger to loosen it, so I just got to turn it out. And then there's an adapter on the block I've got to get out, and then I got a new plug and O-ring to go on this, and I absolutely do not want any dirt inside this thing or any chunks of crap falling in there, so I'm gonna plug it with a paper towel and then get my ratchet on it, see if I can break her loose. Oh, God. One thing about O-ring fittings is they fit good and tight. But boy, there's not much give. Once they cut loose, they cut loose. Okay, there we go. The big hole is probably the one that goes down to the main bearing and whatever, but it also is a big large passageway on through the block onto the rest of those. So I'll go get the plug and get it in there. Okay, that is not the correct plug. That is too damn big. So anyway, I'll just have to plug it for right now. I've got to order the oil drain pipe, which is this one. I've also I got to get rid of this one. This is a drain back for the twin turbo setup. So they drained one turbo back into here and the other one back into here. So I've got to find the plate that covers the block there. Actually, there's the part number. 4Willie 9890. 90. Yeah, I think 9890. 4Willie 9890 is probably what it's got to be. So let's see. This has got a flexible hose down there, so I just got to undo it. There we go. We're up. Sweet. That's gonna work. Awesome. Hey dude, it fits. Check that out. I'm talking to Mike. He's in Marco Polo.
Everybody's got different color codes for these hookups, so I'm just gonna have to.
What do you mean everybody? Should be standard, Matt.
Everybody shows different colors for everything.
Like what? Never heard of that.
All of it.
That'll work good. Get some more pipe. Okay, I need a elbow 2 for this. Hey, good morning everybody. It's an awesome morning and I want to talk about some awesome subscribers, and I have a lot of them. I really love your comments, especially those of you who recognize how much time it takes for me to do these. I told you I was going to up my game a little bit and make better videos. I hope you're enjoying them. But I want to thank some of the subscribers today. Randy Royston from Virginia. Thanks, Randy, for watching. Joe Thompson from Florida. Joe, you live in an awesome state. I was down there in '06 to the Daytona 500, and then I went on down to Orlando, spent all week there in Daytona and also in Orlando. Just had a blast there. It's a beautiful state. My dream someday is to quit doing this hard labor and buy a Harley and go see some of the southern states. Zach, Mr. Trucker from Virginia. Thanks, Zach, for watching. Final Drive Guy. Check out his website at surplusindustrialsales.com. Hilton Family Farms, Rich Anaway. Thanks, guys, for subscribing. And Shop Dave from Kersey, Colorado. Shop Dave, I love your comments. I know that you live in Colorado, so I was just wondering, would it be possible for me to come down and get some weed? Stay away from the weed, Dave. FL8ME Logistics from Banff, Alberta, Canada. Thanks for subscribing. Love my Canadian subscribers. They're awesome people. Geir Morten Samo from Hell, Norway. Geir, I just gotta ask you this. What's the temperature in Hell today? I hope it's a beautiful day in Hell, Norway. Anyway, I just love the fact that I've got subscribers clear from Norway, Africa, Ireland, Italy, just everywhere, all over the United States and Canada. I love your comments. I love the feedback you give me, especially those of you on the C15 project, the Adept Ape, and Waltz. He was also a cat mechanic. If you like my videos, please like and share them. I really appreciate you subscribing to me. If you want to be on the whiteboard, keep telling me your name and where you're from, and I'll keep putting you up there. I got a great big long list, and I'll just keep going. And I don't think we're going to run out anytime soon. So I'll see you next Friday.
And remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
It's a rough life, but it's alright.